Hi everyone, I'm Reggie Whitley. Thanks so much for joining me on the Open Vault podcast. Hopefully, you'll hear something that'll inspire you, empower you, enlighten you, or just make your day a little better. Since you're here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and or follow, depending on the platform that you're tuning in on. And feel free to share this podcast onto your social media pages and with your friends and loved ones.
First of all, hi, Reggie Whitley here with Open Vault with Reggie Whitley. Here we are, y'all. The season finale of season 1 of the podcast. Seems like it got here so fast. I had a really, really good time. And I'm excited that I don't even have to say goodbye because guess what? We are having season 2. Season 2 is coming very, very soon. If you remember, I decided to do 10 weeks on and 10 weeks off. And so here we are, week 10. I'm excited, not that we're at the end, but because I feel like this isn't the end, but I'm just excited for season 2. I have so many plans for season 2. This was the learning process season 1, and so I'm definitely ready for season 2. Really excited about it. I had a lot of fun season 1. I loved every single episode, every guest that we had. I'm excited about the special announcement that's coming up in just a few minutes, so just stick around. So let's just do like a brief recap, or I guess we'll call it a recap of our season 1. We had such a good time. I started this off. I talked your ears off for episodes 1 and 2. I asked someone if they had watched episode 1 right after it came out, and he was like, "No, I started watching it, but I didn't know it was going to be that long." Excuse me? You didn't know it's going to be that long. It was like 20 minutes. You sit at the house and watch the game for 3 hours. Please, please, don't get Reggie started, okay? But nothing but good reviews, 1 and 2. And then we had Zoe Davis. Zoe Davis came episode 3, and we talked about friendships, relationships, moving on, things like that. It was really good. She knows what she's doing. She's an author and all that stuff. So got the right one for that. And then we had that woman named Chantel Bettis Brown. We just had a good conversation. I'm still grieving, y'all. Here we are, over a month later. I'm still trying to get over, what we talked about in that episode. But guess what? Lady May lives on. Episode 4 and 5, no, 5 and 6. A little controversial, but I got nothing but good feedback from that, and I'm really excited about that because I was a little nervous, but I didn't really care. With Carolyn Leslie came on. We had a raw discussion about restoring integrity into the church, and I think that we made a lot of ground with that one. I'm excited to have Carolyn back in the future. And then we had a panel, episode 7 with Valerie Dean, Justin Simmons, and Crystal Bradley. We had a really good time. They rejoined me for episode 9, but in between 7 and 9, you have episode 8. Episode 8 was one that was really special to me. For the first time ever, Jessica Boldencross, my friend, publicly discussed her experiences in multiple domestic violence relationships. And we, of course, brought that out last week, or 2 weeks ago, right before Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which is in October. And I'm really excited about that. That was incredible. And here we are, episode 10. So of all these episodes, I've taken away many, I call them wisdom pieces. I only wrote down 2. But I have so many more that I'm going to share later. But I only want to share 2 with you. I loved when Zoe Davis said in season 1, episode 3.
That's anxiety over your mind because you're worried about something that you can't control. And you're overthinking situations that have happened. So I would say from a logical standpoint, assess what has happened and start accepting and healing from that.
You have to assess the things that have happened in the past and start healing from it. That's the only way that you can move on. And that really spoke volumes. it took me a little minute to really get it. She was talking and she was moving on to something else, and I was still sitting there saying, "Is this what has happened?" And it just still rings so many bells with me. Um, and I loved in episode 5, we were talking about church hurt or spiritual abuse. When Carolyn said,
Well, y'all go through everything on your jobs, but you come to church, you can't take nothing. Okay, you mean to tell me that church is just like my job? And it is not. God is not equivalent to our everyday life. We are talking about the true and living God, you know. And if you're saying that this is the house of God,
and so many people, like we spoke about, always say, "Well, when you get hurt here, you still go there. Why don't you want to go to church?" Church shouldn't be equivalent to everything and everywhere else. And those two things were such wisdom pieces for me. I hope that you have gotten your own wisdom pieces from episodes 1 through 9. Maybe you'll get some this episode. Who knows? I jumped on. I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I didn't know I was going to say what I just said. But guess what? Here we are. Here we are. What are you going to say next, Reggie? I don't know. I have no clue. I'm all out of things to say. So all I know to say is we do have an announcement to make. I guess we'll go to that, right? Have an announcement to make. You can't see me, but I am not alone. You know, I say that all the time when I'm not alone. Why do I say it? Because I'm not alone. And I want you to know. So I'm not alone. You can't see us. But I want to announce before I tell you who I'm here with, I want to announce that, you know, my goal, I told you season 1, episode 1. Why do I have to say season 1 every time? We only got one season. But season 1, episode 1, I told you that one of my goals in life is just to change the world. I really believe that that is something that I'm called to. I believe that I'm going to do it. And I believe that I'm doing it day by day. But of course, how can we do it alone? How can I do it alone? I can't. One of my philosophies, and I've said it before on here, is since I have to do this thing called life anyway, why not do it with other people, have fun while doing it, and master it? We can master it together. And so I have someone else who I believe has those similar ideas or philosophies, and I believe that this person would do great at uh, joining me in just spreading the word. I have a lot to say, and I don't have time to say it all because after a while, y'all gonna get tired of hearing me, so I have to bring somebody else on. And so, in that, I'm creating what I'm calling the Reggie Whitley Podcast Network. In the Reggie Whitley Podcast Network, others will be able to join me in their own with their own podcast. We'll create a network of like-minded people who will just sit down and do what I'm doing. They'll just talk. Of course, they will have different views, different perspectives, different topics, different goals, different backgrounds, different expectations that you should have from these podcasts. But all in all, we all have the same goal of changing the world. And I mean, you can change the world by just changing a person's mindset. It starts in the mind, right? So if we just have a lot of people to come on and talk, hey, we're starting to change the world right there. All of us can reach different people. And so the first podcast that we are creating, well, the first one was actually Open Vault, but the second podcast, I guess you can say, that we are creating that will be premiering next week will be The Awakening with Chantel Bettis Brown.
Yes, 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 yes. Hi, my name is Chantel Bettis Brown, like he said before, and I will be the host of The Awakening. The Awakening came to me with dealing with my own procrastination spirit. Sometimes you can be slowful in things when God gives you the direction to do it. And so I'm so grateful for Reggie to really be that push for me. You know, sometimes you got to have somebody to shake you to wake up. You got to have that, wake up kind of mentality. So I'm very happy with what's going on. I'm ready to get this season started because it's going to be an awakening. I actually went through a process where I kept waking up at 5 o'clock in the 5:55. And I was like, okay, Lord, should I be doing this or what should I be doing? And it's like I literally woke up every day for like 3 days at 5:55. So 5 means grace, and he's going to continue to give me and push me through this. So I'm so ready for what's going on, what's happening, the conversations that I'm gonna be having. It's really gonna be personal situations as well, not only for me, but things that I have went through, but certain things that I see that can help the community, help the people really just grow and see things from a different perspective and just shed light to some things. Because some things we sleep on and we need to be awakened from what we used to. And you have to break old habits in order to get to a new, a new ground. Like they said, don't pour old wine into a new bottle. So it's just time for us to wake up. And I'm so happy that I'm finally waking up from where I've been sleeping and just having enough courage and enough people around me to push me to do this podcast. And I just cannot wait once again. And I'm just hoping that you'll awaken to what's coming up next.
So Chantel's podcast, The Awakening, like I said, it starts right after mine. So if you have made it a habit, our podcast, this podcast, it goes out every Monday at 8 o'clock in the morning. But of course, you can still watch, everything. I have people that say to me, I'm not up at 8 o'clock. Well, sweet beloved, you can still watch it. Like you can literally still listen whenever. And so, but it goes out every Monday at 8 o'clock in the morning. And my thing is 10 weeks on, 10 weeks off. So what Chantel has decided to do is while we are on break, hiatus, whatever you want to call it, she's going to come in and start 10 weeks on, 10 weeks off. So the awakening actually starts next Monday, October the 5th, 2020.
Oh, wow. Didn't even think about that.
The 5th. I didn't even know what it's to look.
Didn't even think about it. Didn't even pay no attention.
Right. And it ends on December the 7th. And then we come back for season 2, and who knows what's going to happen in the midst of all of that. So you kind of talked about already.
7, completion. I mean, my mind is, I'm a numbers person.
She's saved, y'all. I don't pick up on stuff like that.
I'm trying to get there, but Oh.
So what is it that you want people to wake up to? I mean, the awakening, you can wake up to chaos and all that stuff.
Yes, you can. You can wake up to chaos, but sometimes you got to wake up to being real with yourself. Being real with yourself is one of the most important things that I had to wake up from. Different things that I have did or done or seen. Sometimes we brush it off and not want to come to the realization that it is what it is. And so I'm waking up to it is what it is.
It is what it is.
And so with that being said, if you wake up, what you're going to do is you're just going to sit there. When you wake up in the morning, you're just going to sit there at the end of the bed. And what you're going to do? You're going to get up, you're going to brush your teeth. What you're going to do? So now it's time for me to wake up. It's like I'm waking up and I'm moving. So, and I'm moving with His grace and His mercy. So with that being said, we're going to wake up to some things, a lot of things. Parenting, from parenting to conversation as far as how to become a better person, teachers, child support. It's just going to be a lot of topics that we're going to discuss in this day and age that's going on.
And I think that's interesting because my first episode was titled Join the Journey. And so my thing is we're joining the journey. We're going on a journey together. Of course, I can go on a journey by myself. But what fun is that I wanted to bring others on the journey with me. And so many of you have joined the journey. That's why you're listening now, because you've joined the journey. Listen to you talk now, it just resonates that, like I just said, you have the same mindset, because what you're saying is, I said join the journey, you're saying wake up together. So this isn't something like you're already prepared, you woke, how people say stay woke. You're really inviting all of us along to wake up with you in a lot of different areas, to a lot of different things.
Yes. And so with that being said, it's like, one of the things that my goal has been is when you wake up, you waking up where? Where are you waking up at? Where's your foundation at? It's basically in your own house. A lot of conversation that we're going to be discussing, that I'm going to have different people on. It's going to be things that you wake up to in your own household. How are you building your house? What are you doing? The different things that goes on within families and within, just being people, human beings. So we're gonna wake up. We're gonna wake up. We ain't got no choice but to wake up. Because if we stay asleep, then it's gonna be a lot of stuff go on when you sleep.
That's true. So one of the things, because I remember doing, and one of my friends, when I posted on Instagram that little clip from one of my episodes, I let y'all know that y'all were stuck with me. Um, I ain't going nowhere. Open vault with Reggie Whitley. Where am I going? You don't like me. And so with the awakening, it's like literally the awakening with Chantel Bettis Brown. Like, we're gonna be stuck with her.
Pretty
I
much.
hope she does a good job,
Pretty
because
much.
10 episodes, we're gonna be stuck with her. So
Oh,
if
yes.
we stuck with you, we might as well get to know you. So just go ahead and tell us about yourself, so we don't be shocked, so we don't be caught off guard. I know you, but the people.
One of the things that I can say, I'm gonna tell y'all. I said in the beginning, I have one bad habit is the spirit of procrastination. So with that being said, I used to use a lot of excuses to why I don't do anything, or it used to be a lot of things that distract me to why I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And so I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm an author, I work, and I got a lot of hats. I wear a lot of hats. And so sometimes when you wear a lot of hats, you don't know where you want to hang the hats at. Do you want to hang them behind the door? Do you want to hang them in the bedroom? Where do you want to hang your hats? And for a while, I never knew where did I want to hang my hat. So now I'm there and I'm ready. I have a lot of passion for children, raising a child up in the way they should be and the way they should go. I have a lot of compassion to parenting in these days and age, the different aspects, the different look, the different ways of how we can change and wake up to be better parents. And, it's just basically just waking up to a journey. And some old habits, just because you raised in a way, that don't mean you have to do it in that way. And that's basically my train of thought right now in the awakening. Just because I went to sleep like that don't mean I have to wake up like that.
Ooh, that's a word. That's a word. That's a wisdom. I feel like that's a wisdom piece. Just because I went to sleep like that doesn't mean I have to wake up like that.
Yes. So with that being said, I'm just excited. I have a lot. I'm a very talkative person. One of the main things that I had to learn is sometimes it's better to shut up and let somebody else point it out from a different aspect, because you don't see all your ways until you see somebody else go through it, or until you have different people to open the light on it. So we just waking up to situations.
So how do you plan on having us to wake up to these situations?
Don't-
Especially those who, we got people that's stuck in their ways, people who, I'm pretty sure you're going to have people of all ages, and, that older generation.
But one thing I do believe is the older generation, it's hard, but the older generation really produced the savage, intelligent people in this day and age.
Explain.
In a sense, you have a lot of people that go after their goals now. They're breaking old generational curses. They breaking stuff. They breaking, back in the old days, people used to have 10, 12 kids. Nowadays, you don't have that so much. You know what to manage. You know how to manage. Okay, I can't do this if I have these many kids, or if I do that, or whatever. So it's basically like the old generation taught us a lot. They taught us how to survive. And now we survive. You're making your own goals. The Bible said leave an inheritance for your children's children. How can you leave an inheritance when you're not doing nothing? So you got to wake up. You have to wake up. Because if you don't do nothing, how you going to leave something?
So who is this podcast for?
The podcast is for everybody. It's not just for women. It's for men. It's for single parents. It's for married couples. It's for any and everybody. And it's for the elders, because nowadays in ages, you don't have elders being elders no more. So yet and still, some older people got to wake up too. they done got so comfortable with the new norm as far as, when I say this, I don't mean no harm, but you have a lot of grandparents now at 40 and 50. Back in the days, grandma used to be 50 and 60. So at what point at 40 and 50 are you going to look and try to change the situations from what's going on nowadays in this world?
And that makes a whole lot of sense. Because when you think about it, isn't a lot of the things that we're facing, aren't they because we're not awake to certain things? Look at how many facts there are. Look at how many things that go on that we don't know about. Things that go on that we maybe don't have a certain perspective in, a certain outlook. You know, a lot of people don't have a voice, so you see life through your own lenses. You don't have the opportunity to see life through other people's lenses, and so you think that you're right because you're the only opinion or the only whatever you want to call it that you have.
Right.
And so I feel like this is going to be something that is going to be good to really help people's eyes come open to more than your opinion is there, more than your way is there, more than your thoughts are there. There are other people out there with opinions, thoughts, ways, other things, and some of them make a lot of sense. Even if they don't make sense to you, I think that it's just good to know them. And so it'll make the world move a lot more smoothly.
Right. And it'll help people to really change what they accustomed to and used to. It'll break their used to spirit, their comfortable spirit. So I think it's going to be a good season. I know it's going to be a good season because whatever he gives you the grace to do, he gives you the mercy behind it. So I am really excited for what's going on and how it's going to break up. And it's going to shake up some people. It might make some people mad. But one of the main things that I believe in, there's a difference when it's constructive criticism. You got to take the punches. You got to be willing to accept you for who you are in order to make that change that you need. So we're going to wake up to that.
So let's go a little deeper into who is Chantel. So we know that you are a wife and a mother. Talk more about that. Because you're not just a wife and a mother. You're a wife, your mother, your stepmother.
Yes, my husband name is Joel.
Hey, Joel.
And with us, when we got married, I had one child, which is Sarai. And now when we got married, he had 9 kids. And so a few of them are grown, the rest of them are younger. It's a lot of different personalities, different attitudes.
Because that's a lot to walk in on.
Yeah, it is.
Because you're not just walking in on 9 people. You're walking in on 9
baby mamas.
Oh, see, I wouldn't even say that, but that is true too.
You're walking in on baby mamas. You're walking in on a whole lot. But one of the things that I clearly believe in, at first I ran from my husband. I did not want to marry him because I didn't want to deal with him because he had so many kids. But in a sense, I had to think about the stereotype. You know, I have certain families. I watched my mom. She had 5 kids, and I watched certain family members and certain friends that got a certain amount of kids. And it devalues. It makes you think that nobody wants you. But anybody can be loved. And I feel like God gave me He helped me with being able to be a mother and a stepmother in that situation, in this marriage. We have a child named Joshua, the great Joshua he is.
He's a prophet.
Yeah, he's something else. And we had him together. And I also have a daughter now that's staying with us. Her mother passed in May. Much respect for her mother. It was a hard situation to deal with, battling the sickness that she had. But Tamara has been a blessing within the household as well. And so now in-house, there's 3. Out-house, there's a lot more. But yet and still, we tend to all make it manageable. We work together. us and the kids, every road, every chapter in a marriage, when you're dealing with different baby mamas and you're dealing with kids, it's different. It's just all on how you take it. I feel like one of the great things of being married with those many kids is, what are you learning? What are you giving? It's like you have an opportunity to send out 8 more kids in the world that are strong-minded, or 9 more kids in the world that are strong-minded. Because see, the ones that's grown, they grown. So, they listen. Sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't. They go their own direction. So I can set the tone, but I feel like for the young ones, I have the opportunity to set the tone and the example to how they need to be and what kind of woman that they can grow up to be. I wrote books. I have vision board parties for young kids, teenagers, and I also take them on the events so they can see what it's like, what they can do. Because one of the main things that I feel like parenting is nowadays is a lot of kids don't believe in themselves, and a lot of parents have to take in effect or realize, awaken to the fact that their kids feel like that there's a level to where you can go, but not saying that you can actually reach the sky. We tell them we can reach the sky, but are we reaching the sky? Are we trying to get to the sky, or are we just settling? And that's the spirit of procrastination that I'm breaking right now, to let them see you can do whatever you want to do. You can wear many hats. You can be a mother. You can be an author. You can work. You can do whatever you want to do. You put your mind to it. So I have to instill that into them. So in order for me to instill that into them, I got to do what I got to do.
You got to do what you got to do.
Got to make it happen.
So you're also a woman of faith.
I am, and it wasn't easy. It hadn't been easy.
Because you got a tattoo on you right now that say what? Gutter, yo, gotta.
Go get her.
Go get her.
And it's crazy because as I think about my tattoo, Go Get Her,
Put the ER on there. That ER ain't on that tattoo.
It ain't. But when I was in the world, I live by faith. I believe that everything's gonna work out for the good. But it's like when I carry over, they say every level brings a different depth. So I went through that phase. I went through that phase of doubting myself, that I wasn't good enough. I still had demons that I was facing, still had things that going on in me that I didn't die out from. And I'm suffering consequences of a lot of them right now. But yet and still, I have to keep the faith because I have kids that's counting on me to make it. And that for them to make it, I want to see my grandkids. I want to see my grandkids. I want to be that type of mother that I get to see everything that my kids do and the fruits of my labor. So the faith walk, I do believe in everything happens for a reason. One of my issues that I had to deal with too was letting God be God. So in order to let God be God, you got to have that faith with God. And I didn't have it. Just a year ago, I didn't have it. But I believe that even though I didn't think it for myself, I had people that studied pushed me to say, okay, Sean, this book is good. Your ideas are good. Just go with it. Just go with it. My brothers, my family members, my friends, I had pushed. But sometimes when you don't believe in yourself, you can only fall back on that good man above. And he'll wake you up. He will wake you up.
So, in saying that, who is God to you?
He is my father. And when I say, a lot of people think about, what do you want to do for your father? You want to make your father proud. You want to obey your father. You don't want to make your father mad. You want him, everything that a father, an earthly father put in you. You want to be that and more for your heavenly father. So with that being said, it's like I made this comment. It's so funny. I was talking to one of my managers, my manager at work, and she said, I want to get to the Golden Gate. I said, girl, the way it is right now with me, I just hope you don't say goodbye. and just shut the door. But you got to come, when you can say that for yourself, you got a long way to go, and I got a long way to go. So when it comes to him, I just want to make him proud. I don't want to die and I can't be in heaven. I just can't. I don't want to even think about it, and I think about it all the time. But like I say, if you have an earthly father, you want to make him proud. You want to make your heavenly father proud as well, because he giving me everything. When everybody else fails, or when I'm alone, or whatever. Like I say, even with this awakening, he gave me the encouragement. He gave me the fives. He wakes me up. I don't wake up on my own. He gives it. So for everything to happen the way it's happening, I know it's nobody but my father.
And so I'm just sitting here thinking about, and then nothing that you just said made me think of this, but for some reason I just thought about. So we are, both have a podcast. Well, you will have one next week, but I forgot about until just recently that we were gonna do like a social media show thing.
Yes.
Called Speaking with a Purpose.
Yes.
Isn't it funny how things don't work out, but then they come full circle? Because I actually wasn't supposed to have a podcast. So let me tell y'all. So I wasn't supposed to have a podcast. My original, well, according to me, I was supposed to have a podcast. You know how that goes. According to me, I was supposed to have what was called, what was it called? I can't even remember. The magazine. Do you remember the magazine that I was going to do?
Was it Empowered?
Empowered Magazine US.
Yeah.
See how important that is to me? I don't remember the name of it.
See that?
And, I wanted to bring on some people, and I was like, we're going to do this together, and y'all know how people are. And so I was like, well, that's not going to work. And I just threw it away for a while, and here we are with this podcast.
And we actually did a recording on the show. We did a first recording.
We did.
But we're going to leave that person alone and then finish him.
So I don't have an issue with unforgiveness at all, but that person, I hope you're listening. That person who recorded, so we did a recording after the magazine didn't work out. We ended up doing the recording on Speaking with a Purpose. Isn't it such a nice name? We put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah, we did.
And
really did.
Got a logo together. I think, did I do the logo? I think I did the logo. It's ratchet. I'm not even going to put it out there for people to see. It ain't nothing like the logo y'all see today, because I did this one myself. And got together, had a green screen behind us, although I didn't like the green screen idea, but I was outnumbered. And we were sitting at the table. We had a fancy microphones.
I know.
I wish I had.
See,
he could give me a microphone to pay back for what. Because
I
wouldn't even use the mic, but I'll just have it. Because my mics are good, I think. But I'll just have it up there so y'all can see it. Because
like a real
I felt professional.
Me too. I thought I was a newscaster.
And I mean, he had multiple cameras. 1, 2, 3. And then he stopped us and gave us Ooh, I hope you're listening. He stopped and gave us tips and don't do it this way.
Yeah.
Make sure you look. I'm not a good listener, y'all. So this is a learning process for me. But with this, I remember, do you remember Chantel, we were talking about something and she asked me a question. She was talking about something for a really long time. I don't even know how long it was, but it felt like forever. And she was just going on, and I really stopped listening, but I got the look down pack, y'all. So
he does.
When I don't listen, I can still like nod my head, look at you.
He do that grandma.
Look back at the camera. Yeah, I think so, yeah.
He do that grandma thing.
I can even respond, and I won't be listening. And so, I don't know, this sweet love was talking for a little too long, and my mind had really wandered way off somewhere else, and all of a sudden, I was looking at her, and I must have been looking at her for like 2 minutes straight, because he was like, psst, psst, hey, look back at the camera. Why are you just staring at her? I didn't know what was going on. And then I remember one time she asked me a question about how do I feel about something. And I had to just stop. I didn't know, because I didn't know what she was saying. I had to stop the whole recording. I was like, can you debrief me on what you were just talking about? They said, what's called debrief? I don't know. Can you tell me what you were talking about? Because I wasn't listening at all, to the point where I couldn't play it off. So look at us now.
Yeah. And and that's a prime example of how I always live my life. When I do stuff with people, just because one ball drops, that don't mean you have to drop all the balls.
Yes, a word.
And I think that was one of my biggest procrastination. When I do stuff with people, if they don't do it right then and there, or if they don't do it like, if we don't do it as soon as possible, I drop the ball. Even if they throw the ball back in my court, I still drop the ball. And it's like the ball just sitting up there, and before you know it, I got a playpen that Joshua can jump in and jump around in a bunch of balls because I didn't throw it to the side. So I think being able to take that situation, learn from it, grow from it, not saying that nothing was his fault, but sometimes you have to push yourself to another level. Okay, if this not working in this time frame, okay, let's do something different. And we didn't do that. But I thank God that I have you.
We didn't do that. Excuse me?
We didn't do it as far as now we're doing a podcast.
Oh, because I was
So
gonna say,
basically, once it's slowed down on the show, we should have just said, okay, we can't do the show right now. Let's do the podcast.
So I feel like that's where a lot of you are.
Yeah.
We're gonna put the camera on y'all. Like we are panning the audience.
Yes.
Is that where some of you are? You just drop the ball instead of just saying what's next. So maybe you need to take this time. Well, I was thinking, I was like, okay, so for my last episode, maybe I'll give them some stuff to do. The people who listen for 10 weeks, and then we'll come back and reconvene because they have a break. Well, you're not going to have a break. So you have like a week to just take some time and say, well, what is it that I'm supposed to do next? Don't just drop the ball and do nothing.
And
figure out what's
virtual school and virtual learning and coronavirus and all that. But I am proud to say I haven't seen so many businesses opening like this in a long time. People are really using their gifts and doing what they need to do. It's a lot of people has woken up in this season with the coronavirus. So I think, like I say, they picking up their balls. But some people, you still just laying there sleeping.
Sleeping in your balls.
I mean, that's just it. Yeah, you go.
So let's just say a few things about Chantel. So was Chantel an introvert or an extrovert? Or are you one with the other tendencies?
I don't know. I can't really say that. I'm very direct in a way. I don't have a filtered tongue. I'm very direct in a way. I don't know. It's like some people feel like I'm being judgmental, but I'm not. I just look at it. It is what it is. You're going to hear that a lot. It is what it is. So I really don't know.
Okay, so these are some things that I was asked, so I'm asking you. Okay, so what are some things like, I don't even think I know this. Do you like listen to music and stuff?
I do listen to a lot of gospel music.
I told y'all she was saved.
But it's, I sometimes I go back. Sometimes I have my times where, being married, you have to be open to a lot of stuff. And when I say it's forced, especially during COVID, so I got a confession. I love do or die.
What is that?
You too young to know, babe. You too young to know.
So see, that's what
I'm saying. Yeah, I'm 41, so do or die out the old school raps. Every now and then, depending, me and my husband just together, and that's like when I want to hear a rap song, I listen to Do or Die.
So you don't listen to the baby?
Who?
Pop Smoke?
Don't know none of it.
Juice WRLD?
I heard about, the only reason why I know about the baby is because I love Wild 'N Out. Nick Cannon Wild 'N Out. And when he was on there, he was actually dealing with a girl on there, and that's the only reason why I ended up finding out his song. But my kids, my daughter, I ain't gonna say stepkids, but my children, they listen to a lot. I don't know. This new age music, it just has me like, Okay, what? What? I mean, really?
Bless
Like,
your heart. You're not that. You that age already?
I have been. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just love that old school jam. I don't like blues.
Oh, see that right there.
I don't like
No,
blues.
I'll be
Blues.
sitting up crying.
I mean,
I can
blues
see me
just.
driving in the rain crying, listen to the took my last $2.
I mean, like
My
blues
last
ain't never
$2?
been my thing.
See,
But
that's why some of
blues
y'all
really
broke.
speak truth in a sense. It talks about
Mm-mm.
like the side piece. I said, did this man really just say
I like that song though. Stuck, caught up in the middle of a three-way
three
love
love?
affair.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
See,
They
I like
have
that one now.
and they have different songs that are,
It
open
catches
up the
my
gates.
attention.
But
Now I
I'm
ain't
not a
stuck
blues.
though. I'm not entangled.
But R&B. I love this R&B. And my favorite R&B singer, hands down, they just had this spinoff a couple last week, Brandy versus Monica.
Oh, see, I watched it, but I didn't get nothing out of that.
I did not watch it.
I only
but
know one Monica song. And
I didn't
that's,
even have to watch it.
Oh, I was going to start singing Aaliyah. What is that song Brandy sing?
You disrespect.
Just one of them days. Just one
You
of them
disrespect.
days. That's the only.
I
I looked in my Apple Music, y'all, and I was like,
need
let me
you.
type in Monica. Did I say Brandy? Monica. Let me type in Monica's
Monica,
name.
and when you listen to this,
That's all I got.
just
Let me see what I got
understand.
for Brandy right quick while we sit here.
Just understand.
No.
You don't know about it.
I ain't got nothing for Brandy. I didn't even
But
know she was a
Monica,
singer.
hands down, I love Monica, Jagged Edge, stuff like that. So we have the date night. We kind of should change the pace. But my favorite gospel artist is when I'm trying to get live and wake up and jump around the house, Ty Tribbett all day long. Ty Tribbett just gets me. But that girl, Tasha Cobb,
Now, Tasha, she there.
whew, she will worship me
She'll
in
take you
somewhere.
there. You know, she got a new album coming out.
Yes, you seen the picture of the cover?
She's fancy.
She is. And even my baby, what was the last album? I forgot the name of it. But my baby knows the album cover. Joshua knew, you know my name. He would walk around the house. You know my name.
You know, that's something that's kind of funny to me because, I be thinking about,
What?
I'll tell you after we get rid of
Oh,
Lord. The people want to know, funeral chicken or baby shower meatballs? Which one tastes better? See, do y'all remember when I said I went to somebody's baby shower and they didn't have no meatballs there? It was this woman right here. I didn't see not one meatball at her baby shower. Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
oh, did he come back?
And I'm still trying to figure out, did she really have the baby? Because how you gonna have a baby? Who threw that on? That must be somebody from up north or somewhere. Because you didn't.
Because I'm not a meatball fan.
Huh?
I'm not.
At the baby shower though.
But I'm really not a meatball
But at the
fan.
baby shower though.
I know. But I'm the person that breaks the baby shower feet. See, that's what you're accustomed to.
Don't point your finger over here.
That's what you're used to. I need you to wake. Just wake up. Something different.
You have
That's
another
tradition.
baby, you better have some baby shower.
Ain't no babies coming up out of here with the foundation that we got right now.
Hey,
with you. We don't need no more.
Are you reading anything?
I have been reading Pigs in the Parlor.
Oh God.
I have been reading Pigs in the Parlor.
Tell the people what it is because they thinking about a breakfast
Pigs
meal.
in the Parlor is about basically about, to me, how to break strongholds, curses, just everything, spirits. It's a very strong book. And one thing that I can tell you, mainly about me, when people tell me to read a book or watch a video, I will literally run from it. I will run from it. I won't read it. I won't watch it. But one of my cousin, Zoe, told me.
Zoe Davis is her cousin, y'all.
Yeah, she's my cousin, like a sister cousin. Told me to watch.
She said something she didn't have no business. She ain't cussing them, but she called a preacher's name that ain't right. And so we're going to have to cut that out. Nobody local. But y'all know some of these folks out here, I just don't too much care for. But she was saying that they were did good back in the day, which they did.
Yeah.
But she has since fallen off.
Yeah.
Now, if you would have said it and I said her name, So maybe you can talk a little bit, just don't say her name.
Well, the book,
'Cause
the
that's not allowed,
show, he done made me forget
See,
that.
the Lord don't want the people to know because they're gonna have to look her up, and then they're gonna see because
But
the
it
woman
helped
went
me.
crazy.
The book that the show, I mean it helped me. The book, the video, it helped me grow. And it broke strongholds. It broke everything. It really made me understand the effects of spirits. And so when, like I said, when people tell me to read stuff and do stuff, and I don't know what it is, I run from certain things. But with this book and this video here, it birthed something out of me that
Now,
helped me for the rest of my life. But Pigs in the Park,
Yeah.
I ran from it. I started reading, I put it up. I started reading, I put it up. But when you have kids with all different types of spirits, and you have different people you encounter with all different types of everything going on, and when you're trying to break generational curses, you got to study. You even when you study the Bible, you got to really study to get some kind of help as to what is what. So Pigs in the Parlor by Frank Hammond, it is an eye opener.
And I do recommend it. It is really good.
It is an eye opener. It's basically a book to help you with deliverance. If you want deliverance, read Pigs in the Parlor, but be ready for what you see. Be ready when you really pray and ask God for the understanding and to help you. Don't be scared of it. Because I see some stuff now and I'm like, how did I miss this? But it happens.
So so far in life, what wisdom piece, as I call it, or wisdom tip has helped you the most?
It's okay to fall.
That's a good one.
It's okay to fall. It's okay. It's okay to fall. Now, one of the things that a lot of people, you Christian, you can't fall. You believe in God, you can't fall. You can't fall off. One of the biggest things with me is being felt like when I fell, I was automatically counted out. Like I couldn't come back. You can always come back. You can always, just like like we saying, the awakening. Just like you go to bed and he wakes you back up, you can always wake up being somebody different than what you fell asleep. And so when I fell off, I went through a mental depression. And I was like, I'm not going to do nothing. I'm not going to go nowhere. I'm not going to do this and I'm not going to do that and whatever. But who in the Bible was perfect? And I really had to look at it. Who in the Bible was perfect? Nobody. A lot of people that, my favorite chapter, encouragement book, encouragement person in the Bible is David. David was a very strategic, strong, fighting person. But when it came to forgiving himself, he, to me, Psalm 51 speaks a volume for my life. And that's something that I always go back to on a daily basis. In the morning, I read Psalms 51. I know it by heart. Because one of the big things in that chapter was when I fell off, Lord, create me a clean heart and renew the right spirit within me. I need your spirit. I need you to help me because I'm not who you called to be. I'm not I'm that lost sheep, Jesus. God, I'm that lost sheep. I need to come back. So I'm that prodigal daughter. So with that being said, coming back from the being a prodigal daughter, you just gotta, it's okay. I had to learn. It's okay to fall. It's okay to be counted out. That's a good feeling. I actually posted it on Facebook the other day. Once I got to working with some of the things on for this podcast, is it okay for me to feel, even though counted out, like is it okay for it to feel normal? that people gonna be looking or talking or not accepting, or I ain't listening to her because of certain things that happened and certain things that I did. Is it okay? Is that gonna matter? But it don't matter. I don't care because it's a whole nother audience out there.
That's really good. And the last one is, and this one was hard for me, and I thought about it, and it was still hard, and I'm just throwing it on you. If you could choose anyone dead or alive, now you know we're not raising nobody from the dead unless it's somebody Jesus is doing, because y'all know I don't play with that talking to the dead stuff. Necromancy is a sin. If you could choose anyone dead or alive, who would be your 3 dinner guests? Now, I know this is really hard, so I'm going to make it easy and say like I'm number 4. Okay, so you don't have to put me in the top 3. So that should make the load easy.
So you said who is my 3 dinner guests?
3 dinner guests, dead or alive.
I got to choose 3 people.
Mm-hmm. And that was hard for me to choose 3. I had 2 at first, and then the third one popped up.
I know the first one would be my husband.
Now that's sweet. I'm glad I'm not married, because to me that would be like, do I really want him? You know. I mean, because you're going home to your husband.
Yeah, but
you still want him to be there. That's nice.
I would want it to be my
God
husband.
is going to have to do a work in me before I get married, because I would have never.
Help. I wish my grandmother, she's dead. I wish she can see me. And I probably would have my mother.
So no celebrity, no mentor, no.
You know.
Okay, so we're gonna do it this way, because I didn't expect that. That threw me up. Like everybody.
Because it's a meaning behind everybody.
Yeah.
My grandmother, she didn't live long.
I feel bad. Like I feel like I'm a bad person.
No.
Because I didn't choose nobody that I knew. I was like Oprah, Tiffany Montgomery, Tyler Perry.
No. I when it comes to certain, because they don't know me.
Yeah, I mean, but look at the advice and stuff. I ain't trying to get you to change your answer,
but I'm just saying, in a sense, if it's the last dinner or something like that, they don't know me.
Well, that's
so
nice.
I feel like those 3 will get to see. My mama get to see a generation curse broken. My grandma will get to see that, and she actually get to see me make it. And my husband would be, because a lot of this wouldn't have happened if it weren't for him.
When we start season 2, I think I'm going to ask myself that question again. And I'm going to have more.
Now, if you talking about celebrity,
so that's your first dinner. That's the dinner.
Even though you don't care for my girl, I love my girl, because I like how direct she is. One thing about her,
because you know I don't like witches.
She ain't. Okay.
I didn't say she was. I just made a statement. I don't even know who you're gonna say. Who are you talking about?
Iyanla.
Iyanla.
I call her
Iyanla.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
I love her. I love the way she is direct. She don't sugarcoat nothing.
She doesn't.
She's good at what she do. Now you got to be very
strong.
Not only strong, you got to be able to have that spirit.
Yeah.
So I feel like in order for her to be as strong as she is, she had to go through it on her own self. True. She had to check herself in order to be what she is. Now Tyler Perry, I'll take Tyler.
You know, he's a billionaire now. He was just a measly millionaire when I chose him.
Yeah, but the reason why I take Tyler is because I love the fact that this man, when people say he couldn't, he did it. And he actually, when I heard him say how he heard his story as to the property that his production is on now, like you can't get it, and he ended up getting that, almost a whole block and more. That's one of them situations where you being counted out and you say, nah, baby, I'm coming for you and the things around you.
Because even the people who normal people look up to, they went to that and was like in awe.
Yeah. Like, how did you
the man that? Who was homeless. And what was he homeless in? I think the 90s? 80s or 90s?
Yep.
Almost in my lifetime.
And then the third person And I don't think people look at him like they
Here we
should
go.
when I
Lord,
say
it's picky. I hope I don't have to edit this out.
that.
Is it a preacher?
No.
Okay.
And then one
Is
of
he
the preachers.
scandalous?
No.
Oh God, I'm nervous.
I wish I could have 4.
I'll give you 4.
Ricky Smiley.
Oh, okay. I like him. I was nervous.
I would love Ricky
I
Smiley
like Ricky Smiley.
because he's to the point. He only because Ricky Smiley has this. He can understand the church side and he can understand the street side.
That is true.
So you got to be able to move in both directions this season. And
Now,
Steve
you know,
Harvey.
before I think I wouldn't want Ricky Smiley. I think I want Bernice Jenkins. Can you imagine Bernice Jenkins as a house guest?
We'll be playing the whole time because the other person,
Fussing.
the other person is Steve Harvey.
And then Steve Harvey, no, he got his other person too. I forgot what it is. Sister Odell.
Yeah,
Can you imagine him too? But Steve Harvey, that's a good one. Steve Harvey.
because I think he's counted out a lot.
very motivated. I think he is too.
He's counted out, and to me, for him, when you count it, because they took his show away. They took it.
He was canceled.
Yeah, they canceled his season, but they opened it NAS back up.
Oh, is it?
So for me, that was like, okay, why would you do that? Why would you? This man is really saving. And then Steve Harvey, I like what he does with kids.
Yeah.
He actually take the time to pour into children, and I love that about his show. He had more kids on there sometimes he do than adults. So I would say that'll be my round table. We'll be sitting up drinking some wine.
Because Jesus turned water into wine. You know, if he there,
Yeah.
I would say 5 guests because you can save a lot of money if
Yeah.
you have Jesus there.
Yeah, because you
Tap water and just be like, Jesus, do what you do.
Yeah, just give it to us.
That would be, Jesus is my bartender.
With no pig. We gonna disregard that one.
Amen. So there you have it. That is Chantel Bettis Brown. You thought you was going to have a break next week, didn't you? Sure or not. You better binge Open Vault this week if you're missing an episode because next week it is on and popping. And you know, I have a lot of fun on that. I think Chantel is coming up with more serious because her topics are really, like my episode, what was it, 8 was a really serious topic.
You had a few though. I think the one with
because I did have a few because I had Carolyn on twice.
That's a very powerful one.
And I don't feel like we through. I feel like there's more that need to be said about that.
Yeah, that's a very powerful one. But I think mine's it's certain things, like I say, it's more dealing with household and self. We're gonna talk about some stuff.
And I think this is a perfect time to do it because, you know, COVID got us all locked up.
Yeah.
You locked up with a maniac.
I know, and people really not looking at how.
Or you are the maniac.
Yeah. So
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. I'm ready. I'm ready to take it out.
Season 1 of The Awakening with Chantel Bettis Brown starts next Monday. Join us.
Thank you.